5-5 game tonight. Outscored Vancouver 5-0 on the 5-5. Just one of them tonight made your squad better in full strength situations.
Our goaltender and our defense, the team with 0 5-on-5 goals is defeat. So give them a lot of credit. They just built off last game. And to go and not give up any goals 5-on-5, that's doesn't happen very often. So it's a good time that it happened.
Yeah, definitely needed. Defense just keeps breaking records. After allowing 4 goals last week, they allowed 3 goals, which I believe is the lowest this team has ever allowed in its history in a regulation game. Just talk about the defense is on currently.
We have big, tough, physical defense, and it's hard to get into players from there. Listen, teams get the opportunity to the best players in the world backs them. And I thought that was evident today. They had a hard time getting in there, and they started to shoot a lot more outside shots than they wanted to.
Yeah, now on short rest, how can this trend continue?
I mean, short rest for both teams. We're just going to try to do what we did tonight. We're just going to carry it over. And we usually don't play 1 game a week. This is 2 games in 3 days and some travel time. But both teams are doing it, so it's pretty fair.
To start, you had you get the first goal, but you got a 3-1 lead, 6-1 lead. Being able to get that kind of lead early, get a lead in the series, how important was it to get it done?
Yeah, when they got the first goal, they're a pretty good team around the world, and I thought we did a great job answering their goal, and then we went on the run, and we did a great job of mopping them and then answered. And like I said earlier, we have 3 power play goals, but they were spread out, so it wasn't really a run. And this game, as you know, is a game of runs, and we minimized them to if any runs today.
What's McKay been doing well to be your top scorer this
Getting the ball
player?
in net.
What's allowed him to put the ball in that a little more?
Well, his teammates, I know it looks like from the stands, but it's not easy scoring, right? So you get a lot of opportunities, but the special players know how to put the ball in net as well.
Seems like for both teams, really, there's a lot of settled offense. Not really a whole lot of odd man rush opportunities or quick breaks or things like that. Is that kind of throughout the season you played a really well transition game, but does it kind of give you more to work with when you kind of get in there and get that time on offense?
Both teams are very disciplined. A big part of lacrosse is transition, so both teams are looking to minimize. Right? I think we got maybe 1 transition goal today. We didn't get any. So it's teams are going to take a risk and give up transition. So both teams did a good job of being disciplined with that.
Coach, you feel like last week, the single game elimination, it's obviously for all the teams that deal with it. Asked Josh and Dane yesterday, there's some nerves that come with that. Do you feel like the guys were able to maybe settle into a groove a little bit easier today, knowing that, there's that 3-game series that comes?
Even myself too. There was 1 game elimination. It's like, just going into a playoff series in Game 7. And, you never know what can happen. We saw last week a 5-4 game was anybody's game. And the first couple shifts, though, we threw the ball a couple times on both ends of the floor, so I was a little bit nervous about it. But then we did settle in quite well after that.
You almost feel like, because of those first couple of possessions you mentioned, like, you feel like you have to get those out of the way in a sense there too?
Yeah, it's good to get them out of the way. I mean, at the time you're upset about them, but you got to stay positive, right? So you don't want to get down on players right off the get-go, get in their heads, and we got 59 minutes yet to go, so we got to bat them on the back and say don't worry about it, and we'll be better next time.
Notwithstanding, you want to win Sunday's games, win and get to the finals, and for the stakes of the game, but how important is it maybe also to avoid a game 3? Or get that week off? Is that anything motivation?
But it's not like we have a very veteran team, so it would be great, regardless of what kind of team we have to win 2 games in a row and the series. Of course, we would want to go to game 3, and we're going to full intent to win on Sunday. We're preparing the exact same way, and we're not trying to prolong it in any manner whatsoever. And the goal is to win. And whether it's a 2-3, we deal with every situation that presents itself. We have an opportunity to go there and win it, and that's what we're trying to do.
Going back to earlier in the game, like was mentioned before, Vancouver had that penalty kill that they had at 5 minutes. They were really pushing the ball, though, even though they were on the penalty kill. Didn't really see a whole lot of doubling, at least right away. Was that just kind of because it was so early in the game and you kind of want to feel things out?
No, sometimes when you have power play, guys think it's an opportunity to have a bit of a break. And not get back. You know, and they're very good at pushing the ball in transition 5-on-5, and especially when they're short-handed. So, you know, they did try to get some opportunities. Fortunately, they looked successful, but you know, we talked to the guys about being responsible. Also, when you have a power play, so I thought for the most part we did a good job. There was a couple power plays there. I can't remember which quarter. They were running quite a bit, but you know, we don't need to double and take a risk just to get the ball back. You know, like it's a tight game. Our defense is playing well. Why bother taking the risk to double somebody who splits and goes to the net? So we're very content with letting them have a ball on the outside, especially shorthand.
Every time this season you've had a second shot at teams, whether it's been San Diego or Calgary, you beat them. Now you beat Vancouver. Kind of what makes about what about your team allows them to capitalize on having a second chance to get back?
We got a great team, right? We wanted the same team from last year. The core is back, and we won a couple championships, many championships. You guys know how to win in the changing room, right? It's a matter of keeping these guys hungry. And the one thing we haven't talked about is this is a great team in Vancouver. This year is far from over, and they're not going to go away. They're going home, and they're going to try to win and create a game through. And that's what we have to deal with: is keeping our guys hungry and we're committing like they did today. If they can commit like they did today, we have a great chance of winning again. I'd like to see us minimize our penalties. I think we took way too many